Hi guys, welcome back to another episode of Train Simulator Classic, aka Railworks. And today we're going to be taking a look at a my train of thought just let's come back. A 2-foot narrow gauge freeware locomotive. So this is the Decoville 3T or Type 3 040 by Wayside Works. I just relatively recently discovered them, so thought I'd go over some of their stuff, especially the narrow gauge stuff, because it's kind of cool. It's kind of a little bit of a niche as far as Railworks goes, and train simulators in general, but in my opinion, it's a lot of fun. You can have a lot of fun with these little narrow gauge items. Routes can be fairly small and yet still very densely packed with operations and whatnot, because that is the point in these little narrow gauge routes, or these little narrow gauge items, is small places, small spaces. Decoville as a company was very well known for designing and innovation and such in the narrow gauge section of this of this size. This is much smaller than what would typically be seen in the United States. The U.S. is typically a 3-foot narrow gauge. This is 2-foot. Yeah, really neat little locomotive. And again, they're freeware. You really can't go wrong with freeware, but they're really well done for freeware. Like, they crap all over some of the payware stuff we see in train sim all day. So, but as far as the pack, you're gonna get Edgar here. Edgar is going to be our test dummy today, because the rest of our locomotives, they're all the same. They all use the same sounds and whatnot, so there's no point in us jumping back and forth. But Edgar is going to be our test dummy. But as far as the pack goes, you will get a kind of a brownish copper rod, number 19 here. You'll get a red. You'll get a weathered green. You'll get a blue without a cab. Kind of makes me sad. I wish they would have done one with the cab, because I really like the blue with the white wall tires and such. It's a really nice color. And then good old black, because it's more of a fun gauge. I almost exclusively use something with color. I'm sorry, but black just gets old. It's tried and true for steam locomotives, but it's definitely kind of boring on these little narrow gauge items like this, so I almost exclusively use colors. That's why we're using Edgar. But sound wise, detail wise, they're all the same, besides the lack of cab on the blue one. So anyways, up close, these are awesome. I mean, how often do you get to see freeware that actually takes the time to model stuff like the rivets? Rivets are modeled. Now, there are some things that are kind of painfully obvious. Right here, our builder's plate. It's a raised shape, but the actual texture is a 2D texture. It doesn't look bad per se, but it almost doesn't blend with kind of the rest of the look of the locomotive, but it's not bad. Edgar. Up close, the lettering is a little bit fuzzy, but typically you're not right up here on it anyway, so it looks pretty good. Honest to gosh, it really does. These are outside frame locomotives, so the wheels are inside of the frame, like so, while your running gear and such is all on the outside. So much like the American K series that you see in operation today on the Durango and Silverton and the cumbersome Tultic. So yeah, these do have a cab. They have a cab view. They have a functioning cab. Something I've noticed on and off, some things will show the hand to show that you can touch them. Some things won't. So like our throttle here, the hand will show up to show that you can play with it. Whereas the brake here, or at least I think that's the brake. Should be the brake. Yeah. So the brake here, you have to physically click on it, then it'll show that you can tinker with it. I don't know why. Such is life, though. There's our injectors, our blowers, firebox, cylinder cocks, reverse lever. Can we play with that one? Can't play with that one. Of course, our whistle. Can't play with that one. Nothing there. Nothing there. So, nothing too wild. There's not a whole ton to them. To properly, or to fire these the hard way, you will unfortunately still have to use the F4 HUD. Because, as you can see, we can't move that, but we can move these. So, not much you can do there, but big whoop. Put the reverser full forward. Oh. There we go. So, whistle does have a little bit of a tune to it, a little bit of a waver. It sounds nice. Yeah, I don't know what to say about it. It sounds pretty good. I don't know what these are supposed to sound like, actually, so I can't say as to whether or not it's accurate, but it sounds pretty cool. I don't know if we get headlights. I don't believe so. Oh well. Of course. Let's see. Handbrake. There are no regular brakes, just the handbrakes. Of course, we want to be sure our track is set before we run into anything on the way out. The route is a freeware route that is from the Steam Workshop. I'm not even going to try to pronounce the name. Ponendai, something like that. But unfortunately, it requires the Forum Peninsula route, which is long gone. But that's the route we're using today. So let's take it down the track. Steam looks pretty good. The exhaust looks pretty good. You know, not half bad looking. I like it. Alright, let's cut our reverser all the way out so that we can listen to it with the throttle open and not outrun ourselves. Because these things pick up and go really quick. A little bit of a rough track work. The chuffs actually sound pretty nice though. I like them anyway. I think they sound pretty good. You know, they're not too terribly loud, but such is life. I think they could have stood to be a little bit louder. I don't know if... Ah, there. Yeah. That's better. So they sound pretty good. Oh, let's cut our reverse gear back out. So we're really cruising. Really shouldn't be. But, such is life. Now, as wacky as it sounds, this track work is not too terribly far off from what these locomotives are meant to be running on. Wacky track work like that is the whole point in a lot of these narrow gauge routes. Because you wouldn't be doing much more than 10, maybe 15 mile an hour, maybe, along them. These tracks are meant to be mobile, so that the track work would change according to wherever the field you're working in, or whatever the industry is, or whatever. the track was meant to be mobile, so the track work would be pretty poor. So, but it handles pretty nicely across it. So, these cars are also available on Wayside Works. There's something I'll go over later on. They're not the focus of this video. Today is just the locomotive. So, and then of course, since there is no locomotive brake or anything, you just got to use the handbrake for braking. It works. I mean, you know, that's all there is to say. It works. But it's a pretty cool little locomotive. I've gotten a lot of fun out of these. I think they're just so stinking neat. Ah, poor track work. You definitely got to drive a little bit by the seat of your pants. You just kind of look at the track and see where it's going to be wobbly and wonky, but again, that's how these little narrow gauge trains were. That's how they're for. But sounds pretty good, looks pretty good, runs pretty good. Now again, these are not big, as you can see, so they're not going to be powerhouses. You're not going to be pulling a freaking 40-car train along here like some would hope they would, but this is typically what they're made for. They're just relatively small, short trains to haul odd stuff. Like over here we got these little wood cars. But yeah, there it is, guys. Wayside Works. Of course, I put a link in the description. They've got some really cool freeware stuff for those of us that enjoy the smaller, diminutive, industrial side of life. They have a bunch of little 040s and narrow gauge, some small diesels and such that are really worth checking out. And, like I said, I'll probably be going over a lot more of their narrow gauge content just for giggles and squiggles, because I really enjoy them. I've had a lot of fun. So, anywho's, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Do go check them out. Link in the description. They are freeware, so it's 100% worth checking out, especially if you have something like the Chorus expansion pack. Yeah, the Chorus DLC. These are really fun for that if you want something a little bit different than the usual Chorus stock. So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I will see you guys next time.